Als Carl Benz das Automobil erfand, sah er einen Weltmarkt für höchstens 5000 Fahrzeuge. Schon allein wegen des Mangels an geeigneten Chauffeuren. Heute sind mehr als 1 Milliarde Autos, Lastwagen und Busse unterwegs. 2030 könnten es schon 2 Milliarden sein. Was heißt das für uns? Wir sind schon heute ein globaler Mobilitätsdienstleister. Wir bauen weiterhin faszinierende Autos und trotzdem vermitteln wir dir ein Ticket für die Bahn. Wir wollen keinen Stillstand und gehen mit höchstem Anspruch voran. Wir wollen weniger und wir wollen mehr. Wir geben volle Kraft für Perfektion bis in die letzte Naht, bis ins letzte Byte. Wir bewegen Großes. Und natürlich Kleines. Wir denken an ein eigenes Auto. Und wir denken an kein eigenes Auto. Wir teilen gern. Aber wir teilen längst nicht alles. Wir lieben diesen Sound. Und mögen es auch leise.
Hey Mercedes,
Was möchten Sie tun?
bring uns zum Flughafen.
Die Route wird berechnet.
Wir setzen uns neue Ziele. Wir denken weiter, weit über das Auto hinaus. Wir sind für dich unterwegs. Wir machen es für alle einfacher und komplexe Logistik effizienter. Wir wollen Sicherheit und wollen Freiheit. Wir wollen selbst fahren und wollen gefahren werden. Wir lieben die Tradition und leben für den Fortschritt. Wir erfinden Mobilität neu. Jeden Tag mit all unseren 285.000 Mitarbeitern. Carl Benz sagte auch, die Liebe zum Erfinden hört niemals auf. Daimler.
So, why did I show you this movie? You're probably asking yourself. Most of you already know, hopefully know, the Mercedes-Benz cars and the Thomas built buses that are also part of the Daimler universe. But what's really interesting, I think, is that Daimler is way more than just cars. It's not just building Mercedes-Benz cars. It's about financing. It's about all the services we're building around cars. So we're really focusing on the digital world now. We're focusing on mobility services rather than just providing the car to our customer. And I think this is really an area where blockchain can help us develop the future. But as blockchain is not fully developed, as the mobility is not fully developed, we're still on a journey to find out what is really the best application of blockchain for our cases. And this is how I will go into detail about what Daimler Financial Services, the mother company of Mercedes-Benz Bank, is anyways about and what we're actually doing. So basically, we are aiming to become a holistic mobility provider, customer-centric for all our customers. So this starts with MyTaxi, but this also means leasing and financing. So it really becomes a digitized company, and everyone can access it in their own customer-centric way. Yes, what do we provide? It's quite interesting to know as well, as we're in this building here. It's always nice to know what we're actually selling. It's mostly financing and leasing. Every second car built by Mercedes is actually financed and leased by Mercedes-Benz Bank. But it's also insurance. This is mostly an underwriting broker business and a lot of fleet management, especially with Athlon, now that we bought it in the Netherlands. Finally, some banking and more on the new services. We're having car sharing, taxi and Uvel, of course. Just a short overview. I'm getting to the blockchain shortly. First of all, if you want to use our mobility services, what kind of things can you do with our company? So let's say you want to drive your car on your own, then you can, of course, use Car2Go, Car2Go Black. In the second place, if you want to find a ride, so if you want to go somewhere but you don't care how you go there, for example, we saw some train tickets to be bought by Movil in the movie earlier. This could be done in the Movil or Ride Scout apps. And finally, Ride for Hire would be something like Uber, but better, of course, like MyTaxi, where you can really order authentic taxis and ride with them to your destination. Okay. Okay, so we probably all know that we're living in a VUCA world. We're living in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguity world where we really have to adapt ourselves and our company to our market. To do this, one of the initiatives created was the Leadership 2020 initiative, which basically bases itself on these 8 core initiatives in this Leadership 2020 way. I'm not going to really go into detail in anything. It's just important that you know that it's all part of a bigger program and it's not just some simple initiative. What's important is the co-creation part and the agility part. So basically we're restructuring the way we work to work more efficiently and to be more speedboat approaches and have more efficiency. Okay, so the topic of my talk was what Daimler Financial Blockchain Swarm and our agile approach to blockchain technology adaptation. So what is a swarm anyways? First of all, you can see this diagram here, which probably reminds you all of a Scrum team. And this is basically a swarm. A swarm is a self-organized, non-hierarchical way of working. It has no goal in the beginning, so it's more like we're putting a lot of innovative, great minds, we have a lot of at Daimler, into a room and really let them play themselves and see what turns out. The focus here is really on creating innovative solutions and as fast as possible. So it's more like a speedboat approach coming off of the mothership of Daimler. So this is really the idea behind the swarm. What's also interesting is that it's totally democratic. It does not have any hierarchies, so even if there's, let's say, a director working in the swarm and I'm working in the swarm, we're basically on the same level. It's very democratic and all the leaders are voted democratically. Okay, so finally now, how we adapt blockchain at Daimler Financial Services. We thought Swarm is a great idea. This allows us to bring everyone who is interested in the topic and has something to say in the topic together, as we think that blockchain is really a cross-topical topic and a really cross-functional topic. So this is what we did. We put together a global and cross-functional team. Basically, our swarm is consisting of 4 different cells. So starting with headquarter in Europe, as you can see here, and myself, of course, here, as I'm a blockchain developer and a smart contract developer. And we're focusing here in the headquarter in Europe on research and communication and education. So it's based in Stuttgart, but we're also spread around the headquarter area. So as Adam is part of the swarm as well here in Poland, this is really what we're doing here. We're having different projects in there where you can also already see the product owners. In Americas, we're having another swarm cell, which has a focus more on education than on really developing. This is where John is located. Then we have a swarm cell AAP, which is located in Singapore. They are mostly focusing on research as well and education. So they also have some developers and are creating new solutions. And last but not least, it's also important to see the China cell, which is basically the productive development cell of ours. So there we have a huge development team compared to the others, where we really are developing productive solutions. Unfortunately, I won't go into any details about what we're actually developing there. What's also important is that blockchain is more of our hard topic, so we actually care about the technology blockchain, and we just don't want to have it as a job, but we really care about the technology, and we have this internal collaboration based on this. Okay. Let's have a short look at what we've done so far in small images and our 4 focus areas. So first of all, we are focusing on education, which is mostly internally. So we are hosting boot camps where our employees are getting to know the technologies. We are having short introductions to different topics for the various entities across our markets. And of course, we're doing a lot of research. So this mostly is blockchain technology research, what I'm focusing as well on. So I'm open to any blockchain technology research related topics, and I'm always eager to hear them. So we're always looking at the newest technologies. We are trying out the different provided tools. So I'm really open to hear the Oracle demonstration of the cloud as well. And we're doing a lot of experimental use case programming. So when a business owner comes to us and says, hey, we have a great idea, we want to develop this, then we just say, okay, let's go, let's do a POC and see what comes out of this. What is really the business use case for this? And is there really a business use case for this? So it's more of a try fast and fail fast approach, as we want to really find the one use, and there's several uses we can use for blockchain. Yes, then implementation, SmartVin, ABS Finance, and the hackathon team. Oh yeah, we're taking part from time to time in hackathons. We co-hosted one in Stuttgart just last year, so it's always great to have some POCs there as well. And finally, communications, like this one here. We're speaking at different events, but also doing online fairs and meetups and internal communication. Okay, so this was basically what our swarm does. I hope it was interesting to you. What I'm now coming into is more like what the Daimler company really does overall. So what has already happened in the Daimler company? First of all, which I think is really, really exciting, the Daimler AG joined the Hyperledger Consortium, which is basically the governing board of Hyperledger project. Part of the Hyperledger project, as you probably already know, is as with other technologies, of course, Fabric, Sawtooth, formerly Sawtooth Lake, and Iroha. So really the main business blockchain technologies out there on the market are governed by this. And since last year, Daimler AG is part of the Hyperledger Consortium as a premier member, which means that in every governing board of the Hyperledger part, there's also someone sitting from Daimler AG and putting their interest in, but also gaining something from their community. So it's a two-way relationship, of course. Secondly, a really interesting use case we did last year. Well, it was more of the Daimler AG thing. This is a use case based with the local bank. It's the LBBW, Landesbank Baden-Württemberg, and the Daimler AG. Basically, what they did, they had a really old process for corporate bonds. So corporate bonds are for short-term refinancing of companies. Short-term refinancing in this case would be 100 million euros. So when Daimler AG comes to the LBBW and says, hey, we need some money, then usually they had to send some paper there, then it needs to get signed, then it needs to get sent back. And it was a really long process as there were other banks involved as well. So we are sending it to the LBBW, the LBBW is sending it to secondary banks, and so on until the sum is reached. So the idea behind this was in cooperation with the LBBW. We started basically a private blockchain to have this inter-entity process on this blockchain and to really improve the process quality and process speed, as we don't have to print out paper and sign it, but rather just click in an internet tool. And as is on the blockchain, it's not, you can't change it, and it's easily auditable. Yes, and finally, a final use case is the MobiCoin. This was presented on the Mobile World Congress, I think it was last year as well. The idea behind this is basically, as hopefully everyone drives a Mercedes, you all know the Eco Score as well, which is basically telling you how good you drive with your Mercedes. So let's say you're accelerating very fastly and you're braking very strongly in front of every traffic light, then you're getting a really bad score. And in this, maybe you have wondered what these numbers mean. Based on this, we had the idea to have a smart game introduced. Basically, this game would not only be a game, but rather a cryptocurrency-based game and ecosystem where everyone could earn cryptocurrencies of our own by driving their Mercedes eco-friendly and spend then later on this goodies later in accessory stores. And the idea behind this is really to get everyone to know about blockchain and what is cryptocurrencies and how does this work. And it was started as a closed beta lately internally, as you have to modify at the moment the car a bit to have this run up and running. But I really like it as there's social gamification aspects as well in it, like a leaderboard and small challenges. Yes, this was my short introduction to the blockchain swarm and our approach to how we are doing it at Daimler AG to really get the blockchain technology up and started. I think we still have some time for questions, if that's okay. Preferably in English. Thank you.